someone else being in control. We need that you feel that you're in control. Which I got this. I've been trying to understand how all these pieces might fit together. So, from Dale, we've got this whole idea of making experience. From the gospel, we've got this whole idea of social connectivity. And from Mahani, we have this idea of how to use information and the things that we do with it, how we get really engaged with it. And I think that there's a structure that I see happening mostly in schools, and it looks something like this. Mostly in schools, what we focus on is content. There's a bunch of stuff I got to teach you. And community. Well, there's your teacher and your classmates, and maybe some people outside, like parents or friends or whatever. And most classes occupy this kind of two-dimensional space, right? And most classes really focus in this area. There's a lot of focus on content. And, like a really good class is going to position itself here. Well, we got a lot of content to cover, but I'll give up a little bit. I know we're supposed to do group work or something like that because kids are supposed to develop socially. Right? So we'll do a little bit of community, but mostly we're focused on content. And that focus on content is interesting because that focus on content, well, that delivery of information, that was the problem of the past. MOOCs, for example, position themselves here. We're going to make that content available to you 24 hours a day. Right? This is the massively open online course. A lot of digital courses. 150,000 people signed up for this course. Yeah. But in most cases, not all of them, the MOOCs that are successful do much more than this. But in the unsuccessful MOOCs, all they're doing is making content available for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The MOOC doesn't get any better because there are 150,000 people in it. And in fact, in many of those cases, 150,000 people start the course and 2,000 people will finish, which is a lot. But if you applied that same percentage to a regular classroom, say 30 students, it would mean that 0 students successfully complete the class. People are excited about MOOCs, and MOOCs give certain people who are self-motivated great opportunities, but they're actually less dimensional than most classrooms. The MOOCs that are successful bring community in as well. But there's a third dimension. It's the dimension that all three of those theorists kind of hint at, and it's the dimension of context. Because context is the space in which I'm existing and making things, the cultural space and social space, the historical space, right? All these things about where I am right now that makes my learning important. Now, we do a little bit with this, for example, in lab classes or in internships, right? So in a lab class, for example, well, we have a much bigger focus on community because your lab partner is very important. And instead of just reading about a thing or just doing the content, we're actually trying